You know that old saying, less is more? Well, this applies the same way. When you're dealing with chronic ear problems, inner ear disturbances and clogged ears, you name it, you start to get into this frenzy where it almost seems like you're open to trying anything. You just want to get rid of this pain. You want to get rid of the suffering. You want relief and you want it now. Well, I got to a point where at a certain standing, I was on maybe 15, 20 different remedies, and I just didn't know what was working, what was putting me backwards. Like, I didn't understand what was happening. I was doing all these different types of remedies, these alternatives. I was seeing many different people, from doing cupping therapy to chiropractic care. I was taking all types of saline nasal spray. I was doing so many different things, herbs, ginkgo biloba, echinacea, all these different things. And I didn't understand what was going on, what was really happening. Was all these different things helping me, or was I doing too much? Well, I think a lot of you might be at this point. You may be at the point where you're just maybe doing a little too much. It's time to cut back a little bit. It's time to go back to the basics. Now, I don't just say that as a cute little ending to end the videos. It's actually truth to that as well. I got so far into the point of trying to solve this problem of my ear issues and my disturbances that I was actually filling up this bag every single day of all the things that I thought I needed before I could actually go anywhere. I had a bag that was full of things. And I actually have a video on my channel that I'll link in the description of all the things I tried, all the types of things that didn't work. But long story short, I go back to the saying, less is more, is because when you have these inner ear disturbances and you have these inner ear problems like eustachian tube dysfunction, symptoms like tinnitus, you start to do a lot of different things. Well, I'm going to really lay out some simple things, and you're probably going to be like, oh, I knew that. But the problem is, when you're doing the simple things, you think that maybe they're too simple, that they're not effective. And we get too caught into the idea of thinking that simplicity equals inefficiency. And that's not true. Complex situations do not result in higher results, at better results. Sometimes you got to go really back to the basics. Again, less is more. You really have to look at your overall standing. Where are you at right now? For a lot of you, I invested in little things like Fitbit. I have a little fitness watch. It's simple, very effective watch that you can get anywhere. And I track my sleep, and it literally tells me how much I'm sleeping. And if I'm getting less than 6 hours of sleep, then I'm in for some ear problems. So I invested in Fitbit to track my sleep. I made sure to download apps to remind me to drink water. Literally, there are apps all over the market that basically ring your phone or buzz and tell you, hey, drink some water. It's been a little while, and I would continue to hydrate and drink water. Then there was something called resistance bands. Resistance bands, everybody understands and knows what resistance bands are. I got really into using these resistance bands because free weights was just putting too much strain on my neck. I was already dealing with neck problems. I was already dealing with issues with posture. So I needed something that I can still maintain weight while still getting a good workout. And studies have shown that resistance band training is a little underrated out there in the fitness world. A lot of fitness gurus probably already know this, but resistance band training has been very exceptional for me. Getting a good workout without the strain of putting too much weight on one side, it's been phenomenal. So let's kind of recap. Fitness watch for sleep, tracking heart rate, oxygen levels. It does all of that. Making sure to hydrate. That's simple. Hydrate. You have to hydrate even more when you have ear problems, because you need to flush out those toxins. You need to make sure that you're getting adequate water intake, especially if you're in the hot season. You're going to even need to do it even more. That's when I really suffered the most pain and suffering, was in the summertime. Then you want to do a little bit of light workout. You don't have to be a track star or a seasoned weightlifter. You just need to get into a movement. You need to get into some kind of physical movement. And if you have a neck pain or back pain, of course, you want to be in touch with whoever's handling that care for you to be sure that you can engage in these activities. But I invested just a little money into some fitness bands. I got a whole bag with about 8 to 10 different weight levels. So ranging from 5 pounds all the way to 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And I would just weight train. I would just do that. And it's a good workout. And it got my heart rate up, helped me going. Then let's get into the structure of things. I invested in a great massager, one of those little massage guns that you can get anywhere. You can I literally use that massage gun and I massage around my neck, my trap muscles, get into the chest bone, chest muscles here, get into around the back of the trapezius muscle, and then literally that's basic, right? We're still in the basic realm right now, so I would do that. Then let's get in a little bit into, let me talk a little bit more about structure. Another thing I would do is I invested in the neck pillow. So that helps me maintain neck structure, make sure work on flexion and just massaging the neck. And it has a little dial on the side. You can push the button and it'll vibrate the back of the neck muscle. So far we're still in the basic realm. The next thing I did as far as diet is I really looked up anti-inflammatory foods. I wanted to stay away from anything highly inflammatory. I wanted to stay more into raising antioxidants, but more anti-inflammatory based foods. Cut out the dairy, cut out the caffeine, more cruciferous, like I wanted to do more greens, more kale, more spinach, more cabbage, more celery, up all of those right away. And then very lean protein like chicken breast, baked chicken, roasted chicken, very low carbs. If carbs, I would just maybe do roasted potatoes, so very low. And those would not be every day, it would be kind of like carb cycling. So I would do that every so often. Not so much, into dairy, not heavy on carbs, but really high on the protein side. And you can get that more than just chicken. You can get that through like avocados with healthy fats, peanuts, walnuts. I got really into trail mix, really dove into those things. Always had a bag of really natural trail mix with me. I would eat those. Of course, to be sure, if you don't have a peanut allergy, then you can't do that. But really just staying clean, trying to eat clean, basic things. As far as fruit, I would do just like more lemon and water. Do that in the morning on an empty stomach is awesome for you. Kind of balance those pH levels, lowering the acidity, but raising the pH, the alkalinity, balancing the body out. It's a great way to start the morning. I'm thinking about all this from the cuff too, by the way. So give me some props. So really and then again, do it all over again. That is probably the problem right there. It's the doing all over again part that kind of like we lose people doing that. I mean, when the doing it all over loses people, and that's really what's going to determine if you make this thing or break this thing. If you succeed through the healing process, it's going to determine if you're consistent enough, because a lot of you can maybe devote 2 or 3 days, then maybe 4, and then the weekend hits and you're like, didn't notice much of a difference after those 3 or 4 days, and you give up on yourself. I did it a couple of times. That's why it took me 2.5 years to get better and get well. But you have to realize that healing isn't something that presents itself immediately. It happens very suddenly, very like subtly, but it happens tremendously when it does happen, and you start to feel it. You start to really embody it. And so you got to be consistent. And I didn't even touch the neurological side of healing, really. I just talked about the structure, the diet, and then the basic of hydration. But there's also things that I did that I talk about quite a bit, and that's red light therapy. As far as the neurological, the mental side, red light therapy soothed me at night. I would do it mostly at night because that's when it would feel more comfortable to do it. I wouldn't have a whole lot of distraction going on, so I would do it at night. Literally, be in my room with the lights off and the red light just hitting my face, and then I would do sound therapy as well. I got very big on sound therapy, frequencies. Those things are very important for the mental side of things. Again, you're gonna have to fight this thing from all angles, and it doesn't mean you have to do a whole lot of things. Now, what I just named here were things that I thought from the top of my head, and they're all these things are very, very good information, and they are very, you're gonna see progress with all of the things I just named right now. But the difference is being consistent. And you have to, like, in the middle of doing all of these things, you have to believe that you're making progress and not that, oh, nothing's happening. I'm just doing what I'm told. You have to believe that you're making some kind of change. You have to believe that this will pass. This too shall pass. And you have to actually embody that. And you got to do it consistently. I can't tell you how many times I have to say that word a lot because I really want it to get in your subconscious. I really want it to be in your brain. I really want you to embody that word. And so really, that for all of you out there, less is more. I got really into just buying a bunch of herbs online, buying a bunch of things. I literally went to a local tea shop where they had tons of different things a lot of people probably couldn't pronounce. And I just bought a whole bunch of stuff, and I would take all this stuff and do all this stuff. And it's like, it got to the point where I was like, I had too much. And I didn't know what was doing any harm, and I didn't know what was doing any good. And when you get to that point, you can actually be doing harm because some things don't mesh well with others. So that's why I always say, go back to the basics of living, do the basic things. Nothing I told you right now is something that doesn't, all the things that I just named can be incorporated with one another. There's no disturbances between any of the things. And so I want all of you to understand that just continue on the journey. Don't give up. I've gotten some messages for a lot of you are like, hey, I'm about to throw in this towel. I don't want any of you to do that. I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay locked in and believe in yourself. But most importantly, don't quit, especially when you've already committed. That's the worst. Don't commit and then quit because you don't know how far you could have gone. You don't know how better you could have felt. So stay with it. Stay affluent, stay focused, and stay positive, and believe in yourself. I hope this video was very helpful for you. If it was, please take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content as often as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the Jaye Wellness Studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we're here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody, and I will catch you in the next video.